Hello and welcome, and today I'm going to be making a guide on Loba, right? I'm going to be talking about what weapons are good with Loba. I'm going to be talking about some things that you probably aren't doing with Loba right now where you can optimize your gameplay, how to use the ult perfectly, how to use your passive and your tactical to kind of make Loba a stronger character than she already is. Let's get straight into it. So first things first is about how the bracelet acts, right? And how your camera acts and what weapon you have that acts. Now this is very important and will save your life a good few times, right? First of all, is the first important thing to know is whatever way your bracelet is traveling, or whatever way you're facing when you throw your bracelet is the way you face after you throw it. So as you can see, you always have to throw it forward. So I'm going to be facing towards that charge tower. Even if I do a 180 spin, it will still turn me around and face me towards here. So there's no need to walk backwards or worry about what way you're moving. Once you throw your bracelet, just do what you want, run away from it, and you'll always face the same way. And now this is the biggest one, and this is the reason I've died many times with Loba, like I used to die. So the animation for putting your bracelet back on is already very long when you throw your bracelet, right?
Activating jump drive.
The animation is already very long, as you can see. I can't shoot for ages. But if I have my fists out, I have to do that animation and I have to pull. Right, look. And then I have to put up my gun and then I can shoot, right? And this can kill you, especially if you just if you're holding down left click after you throw your bracelet, right? You know, waiting to get ready to shoot someone, just holding it down, because you can hold it down so the second the animation stops you can shoot. If you have your fists out, then you just punch and it is awful. Holding left mouse I actually don't do anything. I just don't do anything. So remember, whatever gun you want to have out, if you're running a sniper rifle and like an R9, always when you throw your bracelet, have that R9 out and ready, so if there is an enemy, you know, you can strafe a bit and then shoot them back and not just be there like a sitting duck. And that is very important. And I'm also going to talk about the gauge. So as you can see on the side of my screen, I can see the furthest I can throw it and the shortest I can throw it. So I can always get the perfect arc, which is kind of like diagonal up here. But what people don't talk about with the bracelet is being seen. So if I throw it in a big arc, everyone on the map is going to be able to see that throw and know where I am. But if I do a little sliding throw, it is a lot shorter. But there is a high chance that not a lot of people saw me. You know, any third parties like around here or here won't see me throw the bracelet. And that is tip number 1. Right now I can't demonstrate this tip in firing range, but this is the biggest tip in the entire video for getting away with a Loba's bracelet. So if you're being chased by an enemy and you have a door, get on the other side of the door, block the door, and throw your bracelet. And then when they kick it once, about to kick it twice, just left click and you're gone. You can, as you know, Loba, you can literally be blocking the door until the second they kick it down and then be teleported like 50 meters away. And this is the strength of Loba versus every other mobility character in this case. You can decide, so I can decide to throw my bracelet all the way over here to escape, right, 70 meters away. But say they're like really close to my door and the door's already been kicked once, right? I can get on the door, throw it, they kick it, and then I'm gone 30 meters, and try and throw it over things and around things so they can't just shoot you after you throw your bracelet. So that is tip number 2. But we're going to add to that tip, we're going to also add about running away. So a lot of Lobas I see, when they're running away, they throw their bracelet and they just run away towards their bracelet. Don't do this. Like, normally don't do this kind of ever. It doesn't really matter if you're just throwing it to kind of reposition and you're safe. But if you're running away from an enemy, throw your bracelet this way and just run the other way. Because if they decide to chase you, they've got an extra like 20-30 meters to travel versus you, and then you can be even further away from them and even more gone. So this is tip 3. This is more of a theory tip than an actual practical. You're probably not doing this. The second you're in a fight and you're near, right, you're fighting another squad, maybe you're third partying, especially if you're third partying, drop your ult, right? Just drop it on the floor, and then if you get cracked, you can body swap off of that, and your team can body swap off of the black market. And this can make Loba really powerful, because her entire team can just have body swaps ready from across the map there. And also, you can steal the enemy's body swaps. Now, this is a very, very strong tip. If the enemy have just won a fight and met it up, so they have body swaps, you can just take them and drop them on the floor next to you, and then use them as body swaps. Now this is really, really useful, right? And I'll kind of show you what I mean by steal body swaps. Well, I can't really demonstrate because there are so many bodies, so I'll take a random one. But say we're fighting an enemy team, right? And they have golds and purples on the floor on the death boxes, right? I already have red. If I already have red, it doesn't really work normally. So I just drop my body shield, and then I can just steal their red evo. Drop my body shield, steal the red evo. A lot of the time it'll drop the one you picked up, so I wouldn't pick up the same color. But if you have like a blue, steal their purple and keep your blue on the floor, or steal a gold and put your red on the floor, right? And what this will do is this will cause you to have like more effective health than the enemy team you're fighting, and it's a very, very good tip. This is a little bonus tip that I forgot to add because I thought that most people would know, but I realized that a lot won't, is that Loba is the only character that can get through a lot of windows in this game, right? So if you're running away from enemies and you want to get a really fast escape, all you have to do is jump. All you have to do is teleport through a window and you are gone. They have to go all the way down the stairs or up the stairs and around to get you, and all it would take is you teleporting through a window. And that is one of the best tips, and I just forgot to add that, so I'm adding it on now. Again, this is a very small niche tip that you probably won't need to use, but when you have your black market, right, when you have your ult, always remember it blocks doors and has health, right? It blocks doors and blocks damage. So if you're really in a pinch and you need a bit of cover, right? It is kind of perfect head height cover, you know, no one can shoot me from behind this, and it's also quite easy to see through. So, you know, you can wait out the shots and then kind of keep it like that and then do damage. And it does have a decent amount of health, you know, we can test it right now. Because it doesn't have like a bad amount of health. It takes about 10, 15 R9 bullets, right? And 10, 15 R9 bullets is like that's let's say 15 R9 bullets, that's almost your entire health bar, so you can block that much with it. So that is a useful, that is a small little tip you can kind of use if you really need to in a pinch, and it blocks doors. Use it to block doors, and you can get really, really good escapes with this. If like you're being chased by someone, you can block the door with your Loba ult and throw your bracelet, like get round a corner and throw your bracelet, and by the time they've kicked it down and got around, you're gone, and your like trail for your Loba's gone, so they have no idea like where you've disappeared to. So I actually have a favourite and personal that I think is the best loadout, which is the R301 Eva, and I just prefer the R301 over the Flatline and the Spitfire, but you can use the Flatline, Spitfire, or Hemlock for this. And there is a method behind this. If you put a 3 times or a high X sight, as a normal character, if I do that much damage, right, I can't do anything about that. They can just med if I'm like quite far away. But Loba has the ability to get in, and an Eva as well, has the ability to get in. So from here, say I crack someone and do them half, I have the ability within a few seconds to be right on top of them and crouch. And then with the Eva, it's just the best shotgun. It just has such high DPS, and you can also, you know, it's also good for cleaning like people up. If you miss a bullet, it's not the end of the world. And you can kind of like spam it like that. And that's why it's my favorite loadout on Loba, because she's one of the only characters who can get like a really long range, like this much damage. If I did it on that bot over there, and you can be on top of them within a shield cell. They can like maximum get a shield cell off, and then you can kill them from there. So that's probably the best loadout. And this is the one tip I haven't heard anyone talk about, which I think is the most important thing about Loba. So if you stay till the end, right, this tip's going to probably be the best. So this one you might call me crazy for, but I'm going to press tab and show you what my like perfect backpack looks like on Loba. And you guys are going to call me crazy. But look, on Loba, this is what I like to carry, right? You can see the grenades, right? That is just 7 grenades. It doesn't really matter what the grenades are like. And obviously I would have 4 syringes. But you're going to say, oh, there's not enough ammo at all, not enough meds. But you're Loba, so I can get away with starting a fight like this, nading out their team, right? You know, using all my nades, getting them in there, and then having 2 nades spare, of course, because you always want 2 nades. And then I just drop my black market, I take 2 stacks of ammo, and I take 2 bats and 4 shield cells, and my backpack now looks like this, which is a lot of more people call normal. And you know, if I've got an Eva, normally I want 2 stacks of shotgun ammo, and this is what my backpack looks like, which, you know, people call a lot more normal. But you can get away with having 7 grenades at the start of the fight because you're Loba. and you can just drop your black market, and there's always going to be light ammo. If you're carrying light, there's always light ammo in the area. And for meds, well, I mean, there's always shield cells. I've seen times where there's 100 shield cells in the area. So that is one of the really good tips. And yeah, I'll show you what it looked like again. It was literally this, with the rest of it just filled with nades. And a lot of people say, oh, this isn't enough meds or loot. It's because you're Loba. You can just drop your ult, and suddenly you can have 4 more bats. You can have 2 bats, 2 shield cells. It all depends on what you want. And you know, even if there are no bats in the area, I can just take, say 4, 8, 6 shield cells, and then I'm set. So my final tip, I'm actually going to take you to a screen of World's Edge, or a screen of World's Edge with these yellow things highlighted. These are the vaults. Now this is their landing location. I've never seen anyone talk about this. On Loba, for like optimal gameplay, you want to be landing Harvester, Train Yard, Geyser, Lava, or Sorting, right? And this is because you can loot the vault with Loba. You can loot 1 item out of the vault before it breaks. But the thing they didn't realize is your entire team can loot, or they did realize, but they just said that your entire team can loot all 5 items, and then your 6th item you get out, your second, can be whatever. So you can get a gold bag for your team, and then you can have a perfect backpack the rest of the game and have a golden backpack. If you've got like a bloodhound on your team, you get a gold helmet. And you can get a gold helmet for you if you want to like loot up a lot. You can get a gold body shield if you need body shields. You can get knocked down if you really need to, but I wouldn't suggest that. And this makes Loba always stacked. Loba's always going to have at least 1 gold on her team, and that is really, really strong. So your landing locations and rotations are important. So when I drop Train Yard, I drop back here, Bracelet into here if there's no enemies, loot here, and by the time I'm finished looting here, I can loot the vault with my Loba from right here. If I go Geyser, I'll drop here, wrap around here, loot this, I can loot Geyser. I never really drop Lava City. And if I drop Sorting, I can Bracelet down here, loot, Bracelet down here, loot, take the Geyser up, and go back in Sorting. And I have a gold. It's that easy, and that is a really good tip. So I'm done. It was a lot more than 5 tips, but I hope you learned something. There's no way that you knew everything. And if I taught you something, please like and subscribe. This is my 3rd ever Apex video, and I really want to make some more. Tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I did right, tell me what you want to see in the future. I'm just trying to learn and get better at this. I don't really know what to do when it comes to Apex, and I'm just trying to kind of make videos on the game I love. Anyway, please sub, thanks for watching, and share this video if you enjoyed it to your Loba main teammate, or if you are the Loba main, tell me what skin you run. I run this skin, and if you disagree that this is the best, tell me why in the comments and tell me what skin you run. Perfect. See you later.